Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual masters, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. A special welcome to our guest tonight, who hails from Hope South Africa Foundation. And this is what we do in this month. We connect and network with people involved in religion, welfare, and social upliftment. And then we hope to forge relationships along the way so that we all get bigger from the cells that we are operating from. That is called social cohesion. Social cohesion, when practiced for the right reasons, leads to oneness. And oneness, when practiced for the right reasons, will lead to one humanity. So it is a long road, and this journey began practically here at the ashram in 2020. How many of you remember 2020? Why is 2020 a significant year? When the whole world was in lockdown, here at the Sri Narayan Dham, we started our very first month of the Ramanujans. This is how sincere we are in what we do. We did not allow international lockdown to deter us from our onward journey of social cohesion and oneness. I remember there was a guy undergoing drug rehabilitation, so I allowed him to live in the ashram, as I do not have a specific building or institution, but I allowed him to live in the ashram. I had Chris here, he's back again after 2 years, and I had Lizwa. He was helping me with the maintenance and building of this ashram. Then there was Shawan, Mataji, and myself, and we started the Oneness in 2020, Social Cohesion Oneness month of the Ramanujans in 2020 with no help from the outside. No help from the outside. In that 23 days, I planted the subtle seed of oneness and social cohesion. Have any of you seen seeds? You seen seeds? Have you seen a palm tree seed? Seen a palm tree seed? Have you seen flower seeds? You've seen flower seeds? Do you know that the blueprint of the entire palm tree is in a small seed like this? It means the entire palm tree exists in a subtle form in its seed. Yes? You know that? That entire palm tree can be 10 meters high, 6 meters high. It exists in the subtle form in the seed. And similarly, we manifested that seed of social cohesion and oneness, and look at how ironic it is, or how coincidental, when the entire world was in lockdown. When the entire world was in lockdown. That was in 2020. 2021, we celebrated and we watered this seed. 2021, we celebrated and watered this seed locally with local organizations and local political parties. Although national, their local representatives were here in 2021. 2022, we continued watering this seed, but we had national representatives. And 2023, which was just a few days ago on Sunday, we went continental and international. So this is where we are today, with our social cohesion, with our religious cohesion, with our political cohesion, and networking with various organizations that are involved in social upliftment. So once the soil is right, once it has enough fertilizer and nutrients, and you plant the palm tree, whilst it is very small, its roots are anchoring. You saw the roots of a palm tree when a palm tree is uprooted. It's like anchors, hundreds of anchors that keeps an entire palm tree. I don't think it's slightly more than half a meter. The roots are slightly more than half a meter, but hundreds of roots every centimeter that penetrates the ground. And this half a meter root formation holds an entire 6 to 10 meter palm tree. Even in wind, in storm, palms normally grow on the tropical islands, yes? We have it here, but there's the tropical weather. It's windy, it's hot, it's rainy, it's stormy, but these palms always hold their ground. Always hold their ground, cannot be uprooted. And similarly, in these past 4 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, our seed of oneness, the roots began anchoring into the ground solidly. And that is why we started local, national, continental, and international. Now this tree is an adult tree. Now this tree is an adult tree. It will continue growing upward, but its base, its main roots, its aims, its objectives, and its nutrients. The roots will need nutrients. And if the nutrients is provided by the Creator, this tree will never fall. No one will have a capacity to axe it, even if you come with these new tree felling chainsaws. Thank you, Dana. These trees will never be chopped or uprooted by any gale, any storm, any Satan, any demon. Nobody is going to touch this tree, because this tree has taken a momentum and it is fueled and nourished by the Supreme Lord. To create an austere society, you need people that's going to go the extra mile. And everyone, every human in this universe has a role to play. So some of you may just be able to go to work, come back, cook and feed your family, and you won't have time to venture into social activities. What do you do if you are in that situation? What do you do if you are restricted in every facet, that you can't come out of the circumstances of family life? You do not have a Sunday to go and do a feeding. You are stuck in a situation where you cannot leave work or your business. How do you partake in social upliftment? Do you just sit and say, let Abdul and his religion do the seva? What do you do? You can donate. You see the written there, donate now towards. So this brother, our guest of honor, he has capacity to move the donation into a systemized way to uplift society as per their foundation, their constitution, and what sector they will be involved in. So if you put your 20 Rand donation there every month, you are equal as this organization that's administering and running. You understand? You are equal. It's a relationship like you and the tree. Do you know the tree is your lungs? You know the tree is your lungs? You know that? Similarly, you can have that relationship with bona fide organizations that become legal in our country. You have to, any organization, and even I say my organization, you have to do due diligence. And after you do due diligence of that organization, and this is why we're given this platform, then you want to further your relationship with that organization. And if you cannot go and serve physically, then you can serve financially. You can serve in some way or another. You can assist that organization in its aims and object. Then you may be of a situation where you do not have money to donate, but you have time. You have time, then you donate your time. If you cannot donate money, you donate your time and your body. You contact the organization, you see where there are activities, the organization may pick you up, you get involved and they drop you off, and you have an opportunity to serve. The very basis of humanity is to serve. Basis of humanity in all religion is to serve. And coming specifically to Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan means eternal, Dharma means your duty to the Lord. Has the Lord got water? Lord got food? Lord got electricity? Lord got all the requirements? Has the Lord got everything? Yes or no? But Sanatana Dharma means your eternal duty to the Supreme Lord. What would that duty be? How can you serve the Lord? Because the Lord already have abundance food, water, oxygen, clothing. The Lord has everything. So how do you serve the Lord? By serving humanity. That means Sanatana Dharma is your eternal duty with the Lord. Your eternal duty to the Lord is to serve His children. His children need food, His children need water, His children need clothing. And when you are serving His children, in actuality you are serving the Supreme Lord. You working for Him on this planet Earth. And that is called social cohesion. When you serve a human being. You do not serve a religion, you do not serve a culture, you do not serve a tradition, you simply serve a human in need. Don't look for race, don't look for tradition, don't look for culture. Then you are not serving the Lord. Whoever knocks your door, you immediately serve. Spontaneous. Your heart must be spontaneous. You must feel the same pain when you serving a white. You must feel the same pain when you serving a colored. You must feel the same pain when you serving a black, and you must feel the same pain when you serving an Indian. That is called service to the Lord. You must feel the same pain when you serving a Muslim. You must feel the same pain when you serving a Christian. You must feel the same pain when you serving a Jew, and you must feel the same pain when you serving an atheist. When you serving an atheist, you must feel the same pain, because ultimately the atheist is a human being. All of you understand? So, no discrimination in serving. No discrimination in serving. So, earlier on, when I was on the other side, as a disciple, when I joined this organization, so we used to have discussions. When do you serve a family? When that family is about to be on the streets, or you serve that family when they are in immediate need? If they have a Porsche parked in the garage, but all of a sudden they went financially crippled. Do you look at the Porsche? You want him to sell his Porsche first? Do you look at his big screen? You want him to sell his big screen first? Do you look at all the luxuries that he have? You want him to sell everything, and when he has nothing, is it then that you respond to his emergency, or you respond to his emergency not looking at where he comes from? Trick question. Trick question. Because there were people that said, before you assist anyone, you must go and inspect the house. You must see whether they got a fridge, whether they got a stove, whether they got a TV, whether they got that Porsche tucked there in that garage. What would you do? Vasan? Vasan might even con him for the Porsche. And bring him to the ashram and say, give me the Porsche, there's a guru here that can bless you. My advice would be, no discrimination. If a person is in need, don't judge. Let the Supreme Lord judge him, even if he conned you. Your merits will always be what you did with intention. So if somebody came and he conned you, do not be upset, because that what you gave, that merit will be embedded in your karmic reaction for life. It's eternal. It's eternal. Are there any questions? Okay, my brother, I can ask you to come front. Amita will position you. You can change. Yeah, you can turn this to face the.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Good evening and namaste. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity, for allowing Hope SA Foundation to speak about exactly what we do. But before I actually get started, I spoke to Yatin today, and I thought I'd have a small conversation with him, my first time speaking to him. And we actually spoke for some while, because I've never been to the ashram before. And it was my first time coming. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure how much people are going to be here. And I was really keen and excited to actually come through and share the story of Hope SA Foundation and the fantastic and incredible work that we do, not only in South Africa, but internationally as well. And I couldn't just wait to come here. And, the word hope, I think we use it every day, all the time. We use it all the time in everything that we say. We hope there's no load shedding. We hope it doesn't rain because we washed our car. We hope we pass that exam. We hope we get well. It's a word that's generally used by all of us. And for us at Hope SA Foundation, it really means a great deal. And I think, Guru, you spoke a lot about what I wanted to speak tonight, and absolutely 100% on point. No discrimination whatsoever. For us, if someone's in need, and sometimes it just starts by just being a good human being, and when we go out and we help people, it's not about race, it's not about color, it's not about age, it's not about where you're from, it's not about what you have. If you are in need, if you are going through something, if you need help, we want to help you. How can we help you? A lot of people ask me, Kashi, what do you do at Hope SA Foundation? And I tell them, that's a tough question for me, because there's no actual title to who I am and what specific role I serve at Hope SA Foundation. Whatever I can help with as much as I possibly can, I will do so. There's specific things that I actually do, but I don't only want to be tied up to that. If it means me getting down and packing food parcels or feeding someone on the street or going out to Turkey and helping people, helping find people in the rubble, I'll do so. Whatever it is to help another human being and to help another creature, another animal, to make someone else's life better, do it. And, you know, like we were saying, you don't have to, you know, there's so many ways that you can serve and do good and pass on your service to humanity. You know, if you don't have the finances, if you don't have the goods, it's you can do it via your time. You know, we are on social media, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We tell people, share our posts, get your friends to like our page. In some way or the other, someone is seeing what we're doing along the way, and someone we can help, or someone can reach out to us, and that will enable us to help other people. Just a bit more about Hope SA Foundation. So Hope SA Foundation was born in the year 2000, and it's fully started functioning. And when I say with the word functioning, it has been functioning throughout the years, but we really got down on our knees and really started helping on a larger scale when COVID started in 2020. And obviously we saw the need for help when 2020, when COVID started in March of 2020. Devastation throughout the world. People didn't know what was going on. For the first time, people were experiencing this lockdown, and they were afraid of this virus. There was fear and stress, and all of that was happening. And we got our team together, and we said we got to go out and we got to help as much. And the reality was that we were also putting ourselves at risk at that time. You know, we're exposing ourselves to hundreds and thousands of people, going out to serve them in their communities. But we braved all of that. We braved our own selves, and we said, there's people out there that don't have food. Yes, they may have that Porsche in their garage, or they may have whatever they have, but they don't have access to even go to the supermarket at that time, and whatever else may be. And to as many people that we could reach out to, we reached out to. And ever since then, there's been, I mean, as you know, KZN and Durban has faced a lot of challenges. You know, we as a community here in KZN, and not only KZN, but throughout South Africa, but especially KZN, we've, in the past 2.5 years, we've faced a lot of devastation. And for us to be here today, healthy and alive, it's a real blessing. You know, we've been through such devastation in a short space of time. Businesses and individuals and companies and families have been through so much loss of life and all of that. And, you know, the one thing that we all can do is look at what we've come from and what we've achieved so far and where we are right now. And the most important thing is that what can we do right now that can change tomorrow, can change next month, next year, and so on going forward. Over this period of time, in the past 2 years alone, we've served, we've fed over 700,000 people. We've distributed over 120,000 food hampers to people in need. And of course, we've had devastation and disasters that have happened. You're talking about COVID, you're talking about the July unrest in 2021, and of course, the devastating floods that happened last year in April. And, you know, a lot of people couldn't go to work, they couldn't earn any income, their homes were destroyed, and so on and so forth. So in this time, there was need, and we had to be there, you know. You know, throughout the years and throughout every year, we have initiatives that are concurrently happening. We have our Safer Women Drive, and that focuses on, for example, GBV, violence against women and children. But we also say it's not only women and children; it's men as well. And we wanna be and stand up for all individuals that are going through violence and abuse and so on. One of our big projects that we're currently working on, and we're hoping to have it started by the end of this year, is a shelter for the abused. And one of the movements that we're going into is the Hope SA movement. And the Hope SA movement basically means mental health. And I think with the ills of society and the stresses that we've actually come through, a lot of people are going through a lot of stresses, a lot of depression and anxiety and stuff. And we find that sometimes, in most cases rather, a lot of the societal problems actually stem from mental well-being. And if you can tackle that, help people with their depression, help people with their anxiety, help people with their stresses, they would in turn wake up to lead a better day and lead a better life and help other people and do better in their own personal lives. So some of our projects are like that. And the water crisis, we've also distributed over 150,000 liters of water over this period as well. When on the 4th of April this year, 4th of February this year, we all, I think, woke up that Monday morning, and we woke up to the devastating news of the earthquake in Turkey. And at that time, it was just overwhelming to see the devastation that happened in this country, so far away from us. But to imagine that these people were in their beds at that time, sleeping, not knowing what was about to happen, and hence the devastation of so many people passing on. We got our team together and we were like, there's too much of disaster there. How can we help? And in the space of 24 hours, from living our normal lives on a normal weekday, new week, start to the week, we got our team together and we put our resources and our contacts together, got our passports ready and our visas ready, and we jumped on the plane. It was the Wednesday evening, and we headed off to Turkey. We took a team of 18 of us, and we went to site. Then again, putting ourselves at risk. But it's not only about us, it's about serving humanity, helping other people. And the thought alone that someone's under that rubble waiting for someone to find them, that alone will make you just want to travel around the world just to want to go and find them. And that was our aim, help someone. If people are found, go to the places where they are camped and where they are stationed at, help with the medical, help with the feeding. And we went there. It was real devastation. I mean, as you can imagine, freezing temperatures. We traveled on plane rides on an ongoing basis. I mean, for a long time. But finally, when we got to the devastation site, it was just overwhelming. And over the weeks, we sent supplies up with Turkish Airlines. A lot of supplies went up with them, and we reached out to them as much as possible. From us at Hope AC Foundation, the need for help is never ending. There's too many hungry people out there. Every day we feed 400 people a day in Johannesburg, 200 in Durban, and we want to increase that. And the only way we can increase our efforts, the only way we can increase what we do, is by help of community, businesses, organizations, corporates, individuals. And like I said, there's so many ways. Yes, financial helps us in a great way because it helps us to plan, buy things in bulk, strategize, and move forward. But of course, goods, volunteers, always welcome. Sharing our information, liking our social media, telling people about us, it really helps a great deal. Even 1 hour of your time really means a great deal. Currently, we have our winter warmth drive, and our winter warmth drive is usually from May to July every year. Of course, when it gets cold, there's a lot of people that don't have blankets, they don't have warm clothing, and these are people we go out to reach, especially the people on the streets and the elderly in homes and so on. So we go out to them, we go with warm clothing, we go with blankets, and so on and so forth. And that's what we do every single winter, both in Joburg and in KZN as well. In the Christmas period, we have our Christmas Hope Drive that focuses on hampers for the Christmas period. A lot of people want to spend time with their families. They're away from work. They're not working 2 to 3 weeks. They're not necessarily serving that, getting that income as well. So we reach out to them. Also, kids have a very special place in our hearts as well. We know what it's like. I'm sure all of you, when you were kids, when you got a little gift, it was such an exciting thing. And you remembered it for the rest of your life. You remember, I'm sure all of you got a gift when you were young, and the rest of your life you remember who gave you that gift, what gift it was. And a lot of kids out there don't actually get gifts for Christmas, for example. So those are little things that we want to do, and that we do, and we try to create this community where each one help one, and that's actually our motto. Is each one help one, and by doing that you keep hope alive. With that, with that also being said, it starts from households. You take care of one house, you take care of one family, for example. You take care of that community. You take care of the community, you take care of that city, and then eventually it grows into that country. But it all starts with each one of us. Reach out to someone, make their life better. And of course, these are the mediums in which you can do so. If you personally don't know the means, if you personally can't go there, reach out to us at Hope SA Foundation. These are the ways you can obviously go through our social media. It has a history of all the work that we're doing, and like I've explained tonight, and you'll be able to see the incredible work and the amazing lives that we've touched. One of the things that happened early on this year in Boksburg was the tanker explosion that happened. And I'm not sure if any of you saw the videos and photos that came out of that, but that was a real devastation. I personally went to that site as well. And, in Boksburg, it's a quite little flattish town, And, these guys woke up that morning, there's families and kids and stuff, and they didn't expect, in a bright sunny day, what is going to happen in the next few hours. And I think that happened at about 7 or 8 o'clock that morning, I think it was. And families, 3/4 of a family, parents literally got wiped out in that single explosion. It was real devastation. Apart from our disaster relief work, apart from our feeding drives and our water crisis and our Safer Women drive, our GBV drives and so on, there's programs that we run, initiatives that we run throughout the year. And all of these are just initiatives and projects for us to help out and reach out to people. Of course, if by any way you or anyone you know that can assist us, please do so. Please feel free to contact us. Our details are here. If any of you want to chat to me separately after I'm done speaking, you're more than welcome to do so. I just want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I think this is exactly what we all need. We constantly need to be reminded. We constantly need to have services and talks like this just to help us know that there is help out there. There's people that we can reach out to, and we're not alone. Thank you so much.
Dana, what's your age?
71.
Dana is 71. What time you get up every morning, Dana?
But after 4.
4:30. What time you start work?
6 o'clock.
And what time you finish work?
6 in the evening.
Dana is 71 years old. He gets up at 4:30 every morning. He works the whole day. He works the whole day. He's at every satsang. He's at every satsang. He provides milk and bread for the ashram every day. Every day. With the profits that he makes from working, he picks up and drops off devotees with his own petrol. Have you ever asked anyone for petrol, Dana? And then when I don't have anyone else here at the ashram, I give Dana a call and an instruction. And he makes a plan, and he is here. So nobody below the age of 71 should have any excuse for service, attending service, donating your money, picking people up and dropping people off. Dana has set the trend. And this is the type of righteous people that the Supreme Lord speaks on in the Bhagavad Gita. These are the qualities that you all should be emitting in. If you are here only to feed your own soul, only to feed your own stomach, only to worry about yourself, you're not in the righteous consciousness. Because a selfish person is non-divine. If you only worry about yourself, if everything is about you, then you're not a divine person. You need to switch your consciousness. My brother, I didn't get your name.
My name is Kashif.
Kashif. Okay, I'm not good with names. I'm not one of the CEOs who remember 15 names and then he calls each person by the name and they feel great. I'm sorry, I'm just a 61-year-old. I don't know if my memory is still intact. Kashif.
Yes.
And your age, Kashif, bhai? You're a man, I can ask you.
34 years.
Okay, so you look 71 years, 34 years. Unselfish. You married, Bhaiya?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Did Vishwadhar give you any advice on that side? I think phone him. I think phone him. Alright, the most valuable lessons you'll get from Mr. Vishwadhar on that aspect. I think coming to the ashram, that would be a most significant solution. You'll get it from Vishwadhar, alright? He'll advise you accordingly. And then you can contact me, he'll give you my number. And I just want to verify that the advice was righteous advice. Okay? But look, Dana, you married? How many years? Okay. Also contact Dana. Contact Dana. Talk to him before he leaves. Alright? I'm sure you're going to tell him he's better off where? Because Dana lived a whole married life. 50 years of marriage. I don't think anyone, even a psychologist or psychiatrist, can give you better advice than Dana. Alright? But I'm integrating and synthesizing. That this is what we need in our society. Selfless service. Selfless service. Think for the next person. Think how that person feels. Feel with the next person. Feel with the next person. Then and then only your doors will open up. Your door will only open when you open the door of another person. Your door will open when you open the door of another person. Respect religious and spiritual institutions. Respect your Creator on a daily basis. Every day tell God, thank you, I can breathe. Thank you, I'm not in a wheelchair. Thank you, I have breakfast. Thank you, I have lunch. Thank you, I have supper. Thank God for the small things. God will allocate big things to you. Don't be a sponge. Don't be a sponge. When God gives you, don't soak it all up for yourself. Don't soak it all up for yourself. Remember your journey in your mother's womb. You came with no title deed. You came with no title deed. You came with no ownership. You were simply a spiritual spark in a sperm. You owned nothing. You didn't come with any inheritance. You didn't come with any inheritance. You are just swimming in a sperm. And that's who you will always be. That's who you will always be. You are not entitled to anything. You are not entitled to anything. It is God that graces you. It is the Supreme Lord that graces you. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. You have leased this body. This body does not belong to you. It's on lease. It has the day you were born, your expiry date of your lease is together with your birth date. You are using the Lord's vehicle. You are using the Lord's vehicle. You have no right to hoard anything. You have no right to hoard anything. You using the Lord's vehicle, use it to provide for yourself, use it to provide for your family, and the rest distribute it to the community. Money is like air going into your lungs. Breathe in, breathe your money in. That part of the oxygen will go to the brain. The rest will come out as carbon dioxide. Let it go to the tree. Let it go to the tree. This is why I said at inception, your lungs is the tree. Let the tree take in the carbon dioxide and return oxygen to you. You can't hoard oxygen. Similarly, you can't hoard money. God finds a way to take all the hoarders' money. Whoever hoards money in this way, God finds a way to take it out that way. So instead of the money coming out in the other way, take a percentage. Take a percentage every month. You lose more the other way. Take a percentage every month and support organizations like this. Look at this. My son, he's my son. He's 34 years old. His heart cried at a disaster in Turkey. This is Sanatan Dharma, and coincidentally, he's a Sanatan Dharmi. Wasn't? Another fine. Another fine. We'll work out the amount later. Sean started the fine yesterday. All right. India and Turkey does not have a relationship because the Turkey president keeps on harping about Kashmir. There is no relationship. They were the first in Turkey. Yes, bhai?
Yep.
You met them?
Yep.
You met them?
Yes, I did at the airport as well.
Okay. What seva did they do in Turkey? Would you?
Yep.
All right. That is what I've been trying to tell you. Don't judge who you serve, even if you're serving your enemy. Even if you're serving your enemy. Simply serve. Simply serve. And these are lessons. This is a practical lesson. This is a practical lesson. When you go to sleep tonight, think of 71-year-old Dana and 34-year-old Kashif. Kashif? Okay. All right. Look at how much they have in common. Look at the need to serve. Before Kashif Bhai leaves, take down his number. If 10 people from this ashram give him 10 rand a month, that's 100 rand that can make a positive difference in somebody's life. Don't think big. Don't think big. Don't exert yourself, because seva sometimes give you a spiritual perception. You want to commit to 100 rand a month and then you go home. And I keep saying this, that when you stop at a robo and a beggar comes to you, when you open your wallet and you look in around, the first money that comes out will always be the biggest money. Try it. What you must do? Try it. Take 200 rand, 100 rand, 50 rand, 20 rand, 10 rand. Don't use 5 rand, then you're a cheat. Alright? Drive around Durban until you stop at a beggar. Don't look in your wallet and pull out. Naturally, the first money that comes out is the money that the Supreme Lord wants you to give the beggar. But as you see it, you look at the beggar sideways, you look at your money, push it back inside, then you pull out the next one, then you pull out the next one, then you pull out the next one until you reach 10 rand. But how much God wanted you to give? 200. God wanted you to give that 200 that came out first. Alright, it looks like a 20 rand, but it's a 200 rand. Alright? So what is the scientific reason for seva? Because I said the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Scientist. You must have a scientific reason for donations. What is the scientific reason for donating? From what is money made? And metal. Both have compressed energy in it. Yes or no? Have compressed energy. Energy, when this money comes in your hand, does a transference of energy take place between the money and you? Between your wallet, your money and you? Does your consciousness touch that money? Because your consciousness pervades your being. Now when that money was used in murder, when that money was used in robbery, when that money was used in rape, that money has various type of consciousness. Yes or no? Is it scientific? When you take part of that money and you donate it, what do you do to the rest of the money that came to you? You sanitize it. You sanitize it. And to bring, because this concept might be abstract, we have created rituals in Sanatana Dharma. We have created rituals. Normally during Aarti, a thari used to go in the back. And then you put your 1 rand, 2 rand, 1 cent, 2 cent, 10 cent. You understand? So you felt you was getting Lakshmi, prosperity, if you put money in the thari. But the scientific reason behind it is when you give money and sanitize that money, then the bulk of the money, doesn't matter which consciousness it went to, it becomes positive. It becomes positive. And again, my son in the back, he would have seen the change in people's face when he assists. Even if you gave a blanket, it is still money. Even if you gave a blanket, that blanket was converted from money into blanket. And a person today, if you go out on the streets that's shivering, and if you put a blanket over them, what would be the facial reaction? What happens to that consciousness of that person? And who absorbs that positive energy? The doer. The doer. Remember, we are all sinners. We are all sinners, and the best way to delete your sin is to make another human practically happy. So when that positive energies enters you and enters your causal body, in this causal body there's a spreadsheet of what you have done, Ashmika, your whole life. You are married, Ashmika, you're not courting, so you don't have to have these small conversations with your husband. You're not ducking in ashram and having 1-2 words. Go home, legal, the husband is yours. I'm sure your father-in-law has given you and your husband even a bedroom that is private. Go there and talk how much you want. You don't have to steal a conversation in the ashram. Okay. All right, so you understanding the scientific aspect of seva is that positive energy emanating from somebody that you helped. That happiness that you see on their face, you have assimilated that energy. Energy cannot be created, never destroyed, but it transforms. But it transforms. When it enters your consciousness, it eventually enters your causal body. And your causal body is pervaded by your attribute of consciousness, which is the spreadsheet of all your righteous activities and unrighteous activities. So when this energy enters your causal body, what must happen to the energy that's there? Has to leave. So that negative energy that is there is replaced by positive energy. That is Sanatan Dharma. That is Sanatan Dharma. There's no such thing as Hinduism, my son. You must go on my YouTube and understand. And Sanatan Dharma do not belong to Indians. Although at this point in time it is practiced by Indians in the main, it does not belong to Indians. It belongs to everyone. And this is why you see Muslims are prosperous, because they take the negative energy, they remove the energy that is sinful in them by continuous seva. By continuous seva. They have two types of seva. One is general and one is specific to Islam. And this is why they are prosperous. This is why they are continuously prosperous. If a Muslim, all over Reservoir Hills, now Muslims, especially foreigners, have taken shops that have been failed. Hindus have failed. Hindus have failed. Same shop, a Muslim takes it from Pakistan, from another country, and you see the shelves are full. It's called prosperity. It's called prosperity because they are practicing Sanatan Dharma 100%. You are Sanatan Dharmis, you are practicing it 5%. Because Sanatan Dharma is an exact science, you'll have to get an scientific result. Science got nothing to do with religion. Science got nothing to do with race. Whoever is the practitioner, that person will receive the solution or the product. All of you understand? So speak to my 34-year-old son. We will be in constant, we want to partner with you in a very small way. You can see my congregation is small. They're not very rich, but they're very lazy. They don't like to come to satsang as often as they should be. And they go slow when it comes to opening the wallet. There's a freezing. But I'm sure you're going to help them unfreeze. You can be the unfreezing therapist. Okay, I'm joking. They do whatever they can. I just need them to do a bit more. Okay, and this is called social cohesion. This is called social cohesion. Have you noticed some people out of nowhere just become prosperous? Have you noticed? And you think, hey, how did this person become prosperous? It's because he takes part of his money and he keeps giving, and one day he gets that return. You understand? So don't you want to be one day something might happen? You might just be going past a casino and by, and the casino called you in, and people have been sitting at the chair for 20 years. Feeding, nothing happened. You said, let me try it. Zup. I don't know what happens there, but there's an alarm that will go on that you won a few million with your first attempt. God finds way to repay you, both in cash and in kind. Trust in God. Trust in God. This social cohesion, I didn't formulate it. It's there since creation. And what my son in the back is doing is nothing new. It's been there since creation. He just found, because of his previous merits in life, he is now completing his righteous living in his previous life, that it has come natural to him. Jai Shriman Narayan.